Historically, the South African film and television industry has largely been male-dominated. Out of the 55 films that were produced locally between 2000 and 2007, only 6 were produced by women, 9 were based on stories written by women, and only 6 of those films had women directors. But recent years have seen an emergence of new voices of women directors and writers who are making a name for themselves both locally and internationally, like Sarah Blatcher of Izululami and Othello Burning. Jan Turner of White Wedding and Busisiwe Ntintili of Happiness is a 4-letter word. The latter grossed a handsome 17 million rands at the box office in 2016. But the success of these women players in the film and television industry can arguably be traced back to Roberta Durrant, a pioneering actress, director, and producer whose career spans over 3 decades.
I had worked with Daphne Shlemuka and Sis Tembi, Charlie, and I'd known them from the theatre actually. And that led us to, and my involvement in It's Nice or Sgudi Snaysi. And I, through that production, met the late Joe Mafela. And we did quite a few of these comedies together because I always cast him as the lead guy in these comedies. So it went from Sgudi Snaysi to Going Up. From Going Up it went to Khululeka.
Khululeka was South Africa's flagship educational comedy drama series, which was instrumental in the educating of first-time voters about democracy and voting processes. Khululeka was broadcast from 1994 to 2009. Because
Joe was at that stage so popular, he was selected as the sort of persona of Wonke Wonke about democracy education. And it was a good vehicle because it was democracy education through comedy. It was a democracy education through humor. And that was the choice made by the Matla Trust, who first supported the project. And then, because Khululeka went on for almost 10 years and we raised money to do it. We had to get money from other sources. We got money from overseas, we got money from the IEC. It wasn't always just paid for because I think that we both believed in democracy education and ongoing democracy education.
Roberta has served as a member of the National Executive Committee of the Independent Producers Organization, a president of Women in Film, and has guest lectured at the University of Cape Town and after. In 2012, she received a Lifetime Achievement Award from the National Film and Video Foundation of South Africa for her contribution to the film and television industry. She currently serves as co-chair for South Africa's annual Film and Television Awards, or the SAFTAs.
I was never afraid, really. I was never afraid of speaking up and pushing through, actually. And I'm a great believer that women, need to have a voice, and that there's no reason why, women should play any sort of secondary role to a male energy. It doesn't make sense to me. So I suppose I was never really intimidated, or if I was intimidated, I sort of didn't like, I refused to feel intimidated. Let's put it that way.
Krotoa. My name is Krotoa.
Roberta's latest work is Krotoa, a film about a young Khoi woman who becomes Jan Van Riebeek's interpreter in the 1600s.
She was somebody who was caught between two cultures. Not everybody lives a life like that, And what's interesting is that she was doing that way back in 1652. Because if you think of what's happened in our history since 1652, we've been through apartheid, that was the start of colonialism. We've have had a history of silos and separation and whatever. And here was a woman right at that stage who found herself being brought up within a Dutch community, but actually never losing her Khoi roots and her Khoi connection. And and she vacillated between the two, and that makes her a very interesting figure. I think it's also very interesting that she did marry Pieter van Mierhof, who was a Danish doctor adventurer, and that is the first recorded bi or mixed race marriage written down, and that makes it very interesting.
Krotoa ended up being shunned by both her own people and by the Dutch, and this led to a life of depression and alcoholism. Krotoa is currently showing at all the selected cinemas across the country. Dumiso Mashaba, SABC News.